Good afternoon, everyone. Let me introduce my team. Phoebe is a project manager. Sujan, Sanshrit, and Bharti and I is the project team members. Just few words about the organization that we have chosen. Voodoo Nisland Limited is a wholesaler company for toys located at 113 Pavilion Drive, Mangri. It offers 21 brands, and their mission and vision is to be the best supplier. Also keep up to date on the latest trends. Their retailers are the Warehouse, Farmers Trading Limited, and White Horse. So they totally rely on them for the marketing. The purpose of this project is to create unique trends through influencers to increase sales through social media forms. As we all know, because of the COVID, Voodoo always plans 1 year ahead to bring their toys from their suppliers to New Zealand. Just because of the lockdown, they could not sell their products, and because of the storage, then they had a lot of toys and they could not sell it. So this project was conducted to increase the trend and in a unique way. So as a team, we have divided our project into sections, and as a team, we will talk one by one, including these topics to cover up which was done in our project. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Phoebe. I'm the project manager, and now I will talk about the work breakdown structure, WBS. So our project started in November 13 and ended January 28. We have 5 different phases in our project: initiation, planning, execution, control, and closure. WBS is a very important tool in our project planning, where all the main goals and phases of our project will be broken down into objectives, and each objective will have a work package with specific activity to deliver. By doing this, all the deliverables results will be able to track based on activities to be achieved within the main goal. As can be seen from the project WBS, we see that WBS helps break down our project into sub-steps to create the interdependencies across the activities. With the links between all our activities, we will be able to create a more accurate scheduling. In terms of human resource, we use a RACI chart and resource leveling to allocate roles and responsibilities. In the resource leveling table, we show the list of activities, durations, human resources needed, resource hour needed, and the human resource were assigned to do the task or activities. In terms of project schedule, throughout the course of our project, to ensure that all the activities must follow a specific logic so that we can identify any problem in terms of time management. Also, any delays and slippages in the process of executing the project. And all the tasks and assignments must be either follow or must be either precede or follows one another in every phase of the project. And in the next slides, will illustrate the project Gantt chart with the critical paths, resources allocation, and expected time to completion are all listed in the Gantt chart. Now I will hand out to Sujan to talk about the budget. Thank you.
Hi, it's me, Sujan. Before going to slide, I would like to talk about the budget. And
Stay on this.
yeah. Budget is the estimation and distribution of money according to the plan. In our budget, we use two types of tools regarding budget. So one is activity cost budget, and another one is time-based budget. And activity cost budget is estimation of cost according to the project activity, and time-based budget is the based on subdivision of activity and budgeted according to that. So our plan budget was of total 63,600. So it was planned for like 30,000 for influencer, 5,000 for outsourcing, market, data tools, measurement and analysis, 5,000, and part-time personal cost was 23,600. But we at the time of signing contract with influencers, due to their high demand, they are expecting around 600 to 1,000. So our initial budget was like 200 for video. We estimated 150 videos, so it will cost 30,000. So if we stick with that plan, it will cost like more than 10,000. So we will overrun the budget. So we had a team meeting and we did brainstorming, and we came up with solution to organize social media online contest, that is TikTok contest. So due to that, we spent only 23,500 in social media, paying social media influencer, and we saved like 6,500 from there. And for management of online TikTok contest, we use 5,000 from that saving, and we're surplus of 1,500 altogether.
Next.
Progress report. So step 1, we were focused, we monitored, and we controlled the project. So we had to be on the schedule, whatever we had planned. That means we had to be kept on track, focused, and we had to be ahead of schedule and stakeholders' attention. We had to communicate with the stakeholders to allow them to understand the current state of the project, steps taken, budget, schedules, scopes, forecast, and secondly, we had to be overall project goal. So our project goal was to increase the sale from 10% from the previous year to this year to 30%. And secondly, our goal was to create the unique trends to influence our influencers using our toys. Lastly, we wanted to increase new retailers at least to 20, and therefore due to COVID, because of the storage problem, we introduced 5 more brands to increase the shelf space in the stores, to increase the profit. And number 3, step 3, it was achieved. We achieved from 10% to 30%, which was an achievement. And because it was during Christmas time, the project was held during the Christmas period, competitors were high. They were also using these trends. So we used those famous popular toys, example Frozen, Spider-Man, Superman, to attract customers, attract the influencers to use this trend to get the kids to buy these. And they also helped us to increase our profit margin. And lastly, because the influencers were asking us more, and we had to keep up with our budget, whatever is planned on our cost. So what we did was we negotiated, we planned, and we came up with 50 TikTok videos, which was very successful as an achievement. And we also got very positive feedback, and we also increased our viewers. And lastly, because it was very peak season, it was really hard to get hold of the stakeholders. So most of the communications were verbally on the phone, and most of the documents were not documented. So that created a little bit of miscommunication, but we achieved it through communication by creating Excel templates, a checklist, follow up with emails and documented that, and also meetings were arranged. And the achievement matters was everything was solved with communicating, change management through identifying extra cost and minimizing through cheaper means with the influencers. As I said, step 4, progress summary, we achieved it. It was good. Next please. Project risk management. The first thing was we knew we had to have essential training to have this project successful. Therefore, we could not ignore the risk. So we had to plan. And before planning, after planning, we had to find the risk. And by finding risk, we identified first was financial risk. We had to keep up with the budget that we had. We couldn't go forward or backward. We had to keep as planned our budget. So that was a risk because the influencers was asking more. And secondly, market risk. As I've said, competition was high. During Christmas, there's other competitors that are using the same trend. So we managed to identify that risk and we use unique trends. Communication, very hard to get hold of stakeholders during that time because they were into their own families, they had other means. And lastly, environment. We all know we're still in COVID, red light. So 100 people in the store, 100 with masks. So we had to use all these means to get through this red light. And lastly, I hope you remember on the first 4 weeks, we were still having online classes. So a bit of when you start the project, a lot of planning is needed in the beginning. But because of the distance, we were home, communication was a little bit, and that risked us because to start, the first impression is the last goal. So to start, we had to be in a right motive to end it. And so we did the risk analysis chart by using the risk matrix. So the risk matrix is used to, during risk assessment, to define the level of risk using the likelihood and consequences. Just briefly, I'll go. We had communication, market, financial, and environment. So this was the likely that could have happened, and this was the consequences that would happen. So we have identified one of the 4, likelihood and this one. And with this, the most one was environment risk, still on the red light, still on that, during the process of the project. So COVID did, affected our sales margin, but we managed to get through from 10% to 30%. Can you please go back? Like that. Lastly, we created risk logbook as a mitigation strategy. We kept record of all the documents. As I said, we identified the risk, we wrote it, and we documented it. And as I've said, communication can be also achieved by brainstorming. As a team, we came up with the risk, we got information, we had ideas, and we found solutions. And as I said, good communication. Lastly, started from the starting, classified, analyzed the risk, had responses, and we wrote whatever was the risk, and we achieved it. Thank you.
Thank you everyone. Thanks for that. And sorry to keep you guys waiting. I hope you guys are not bored. So, well, my part was the change management. So my part was the change management. So after all of these problems that we faced during the course of our project, so during the course of our project, it was a basic proposal that we actually kept it forward in front of our team members so that we can modify those procedures, including project cost, budget, schedule, scope, and documentation. The changes were like in three types: optional, mandatory, direct, or indirect. And issues that we faced was budget issues, competition, and communication, both internally and externally. Internal was because we were communicating as a team member and lockdown happened, like red flag, so we couldn't go face to face, so we had to do the Zoom meeting, and same with the stakeholders. And same with the competition. As you know, Christmas time, everybody's got to sell some products for themselves, so there was a huge competition with us. And budget overrun. There was a little budget overrun as explained by Sujan, and some of the risk as Shivani mentioned about it. So that's why we actually got together and placed the change request, which was some of the corrective measures, preventive measures, defect repair, and updates. So corrective measure was Excel templates and receipts, logbooks. Preventive was feedbacks and communication, which was very crucial for every company. And defective repair was like we actually had to make an Excel sheet for them so that we can understand much better than anyone else, like what they need and what they are exactly looking for in future. And updates, like issues and solutions about it. So the tools that we used was analytical techniques, root cause analysis, and team meetings. So these three things were so crucial for us because root cause analysis, and that we have to find is we have to dig deeper into it. What was the major problem where it started? And analyzing the techniques means we have to go through all the stuff that we have done. And team meetings, then put it together in the team meetings and decide what we're going to approve as per the changes. So as per the changes approved by the manager and the team members, so we came up with organizing the TikTok contents to balance over a budget, decreasing the number of influencers to fit in our budget, and Zoom meeting and Excel sheets were already being provided to these stakeholders so that it would be easier for us to communicate with them. Updates were approved, and then after is a communication about. So the communication, as you can see, I have put it in a really good manner, like communication management. Work performance was one of those factors of communication management. Enterprises, environmental factors, tools and techniques, and project output. So communication management included Gantt chart, which have already been explained, and the performance plan was like how we performed as a team during the course of our project, and enterprise environment factors, of course, COVID. COVID was really actually creating a problem for us, but somehow we kept managed it really well. And after that, there was like techniques that which was presentation, meeting management, listening, and facilitations. So these were the little sub techniques that we use so that we can keep in touch with each group. Maybe over the text, over the WhatsApp, over the phone call, Zoom meetings, so that we can get to the project closure, and which is going to be done by. And sorry. So as you can see, so I have already put that in a tabular form. Weekly was the status update, exceptional variant as needed, project review, configuration changes, influence to retail partners, data collections as needed, and emergency unfilter as needed. And these were the things that we used, like Zoom meetings, phone calls, and stuff. And over to you.
Yeah, so
Bhavti.
hey, we have missed closure, so I'll just check with Phoebe.
It's the next one. Sorry. Oh shit. I did it. Yes.
So what did you say? So quick.
Sorry.
I'm doing the closure for the Moodle choice, And then first of all, at last, I would like to thank respected teacher, my team manager, and my colleagues for helping me and then completing the project. And the goal of the project closing is to ensure that we point out the things we did right and point out and improve the things we still need to improve. And I have mentioned project status, which says that we have successfully implemented 5 steps of Gantt chart, which includes planning, development, implementation, and then the settlement, and then all the deliverables were achieved, and which says that all the expected outcomes and cost analysis and budget estimation, everything we did successfully. Unique trends were successfully created, and then we handed over the project to the on 28th of January, and it was like before the so it was, yes, we handed over 28th of January, and then the completion date of the project was 29th January actually. And then there was a close out meeting which held in the Woodley Toys office building on 28th of January at 8 a.m. And then there was a director, Woodley director, staff, management team, retail partners, research team, and everyone attended the meeting. And then there was the sign of completion, and the sign of the completion certificate, which was signed by the project manager and handed over to the director. And then there was an initial and final post evaluation. And for the initial post project evaluation, there was a feedback received from the retail partners and stakeholders. They, if they want to sell unique and cost-effective choice. A part of that, we did a acceptance process checklist, and which includes the description and the status of the scope of the project clear, or are the stakeholders identified, or is the project delivery confirmed in writing. So yes, all this we did, and then we estimated about 10% increase at the time of Christmas, and overall we estimated 30% increase, and we achieved everything. So that was the closure. Thank you very much.
Okay. What is the most critical success factor in your project?
The critical success factor was actually we made it to the project. Like we were actually, yeah, that
The what?
we made it. We actually completed our time frame.
Yeah, there are 10 critical success factors.
Yeah.
Staff management support, project team, communication, many others. I'm asking for one specific critical success factor that enabled you to succeed in your project.
So basically, if I would say,
Discuss first. Okay, we would say that the most critical factors, successful one for us is the communication. So during the execution of the project, we faced so many issues in terms of communicating with stakeholders and also between the team members, because we have different backgrounds and from different cultures, experiences, and different ages gap. So yeah, we managed to overcome and reconcile.
Okay, so that is the most.
most one.
How did top management support enable you? What is the level of contribution of top management support for your critical success?
The level.
The sponsor. Top management support was the sponsor, right?
Yeah.
What was their significant contribution? If you said it is your own effort as project team with your communication facility, what role did top management support have in enabling you to succeed in the project? Ah,
So we had been meeting with the students, and because we are from the different nationalities,
yes.
and we discuss about how diversity works, how we can be advantage for gathering all types of courses, because we are from different backgrounds, how we can use them.
And everybody has different skills.
Yeah, everybody has different
like
skills.
that.
And another thing was in terms of budget.
Fine.
Because in week 3 we are supposed to overrun our budget because of social influencer, and we discussed with sponsor, and they agree with our plan, change management plan. So organizing TikTok content. So because we need to keep that video in their web pages, so
Okay,
they coordinate with us.
in short, did you get the support that you needed?
Yes,
Yes.
we got it.
Yes.
We got it. We got it.
This was the number one factor.
From the very first day, we have a support from the director.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah,
answering all
and they
our questions.
gave us like enough information for us so that
Yes.
actually we can proceed
Okay,
with the project.
in one word from each one of you, what insight did you gain from this experience?
Insight, like how businesses, how they are handling their businesses, and how we are actually got an idea, like how they are actually being selling those on their own, and how we did that for them. So it was a different thing for us. So this project management have made us.
It is a unique experience. I
Yeah.
said one word.
Yes, it's a different experience in my lifetime. I have experienced this for the first time.
Yeah, but what did you learn from it? That is the insight.
A lot.
A lot, yeah, I think so, a lot I have learned it. It's a short span of time, just 3.5 months, but I have learned a lot.
Yeah.
Okay?
It gave me a realistic feel. So
Actually, we were working.
yes, it gave me this is what to say, feeling how we work in the team,
Team player.
how we can contribute.
You gain a personal experience working in the real world as being a project manager. And it was really challenging to work in a team, especially if you come from
A
a
diverse team.
culture. Yeah, so.
And as project manager,
I think
Very hectic.
there are so many things, but if I have to choose, I would choose working under pressure. Pressures from team members, pressure from stakeholders, and from top management, like from sponsor. So I learned how to communicate with a sponsor because everything needs to be informed. We can't hide anything. It's so.
I thought the Empire Garden had the biggest budget, but yours had the biggest.
Yes.
That's maybe.
More than 60K.
Yeah.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's give everyone